Welcome back to Super Mario 64. Are you a fan of Super Mario Brothers 3? I hope you are.
Super Mario 64 sounds like
Man, it's weird how that question is still very much valid in today's Mario.
Super
climate.
Mario 64 sounds like a bad Bubsy crossover.
Yeah,
But like, okay, this
for Infinity.
this
Fan game.
level was such a goddamn disappointment to me because like, okay, I was down with the idea of a level gimmick based on being small in a large environment or being huge in a small one. And it feels like even as far ahead in the series as Galaxy 2, they always manage to underutilize this goddamn idea. So I was
that's just a problem with a lot of Mario
Yeah,
games in general.
so I was-
They need to do an idea, but only do it for one level, and it never gets explored.
I was hoping that Super Mario 64 might do it well when I got here, but Tiny Huge Island is kind of just bog.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh Ryan! Oh no!
I give you the definition of pain.
Yeah, I had to show that because it happened.
That's the crash. That's the
Oh.
crash. That's the Super Mario 64 version of getting to the end of the level and
One
missing
more
one
box.
box. Yes. But like
Or dying right before you reach the death drop.
Tiny Huge Island is really just a really bog standard platforming level with a size variation gimmick, and admittedly, it's kind of a cool size variation gimmick, but they don't really do much of interest with it.
Yeah, because it doesn't change how you solve like particular elements of the designs. Like piranha plants are super huge. Cool. I'll just punch them like I do every other enemy. You know, that's like it's really no different than how you handle the
The
issue
only major
beforehand.
variation in how you approach things is that when you're larger, you can jump farther, but the platforms are smaller, so you gotta be more precise. So if you're smaller, you can land on things easy. It's like, okay, I guess. But
And again, the humongous gimmicks of Mario had never been.
I
That
don't get
interesting.
what made that level of Mario 3 so cool. Personally, like
Well-
I never
Well,
got
Mario 3, I think it's because it was the first time they did it. Like, and it's like, oh my god, you went right for them.
it. The only thing
Motherfucker.
I can think of that made it cool in Mario 3 is that because the sprites for like the block and the Koopa were bigger, they were slightly more detailed, which is cool
Well,
on an 8-bit system.
within
I guess.
within the relatively limited graphical style of Mario 3, it stood out as a visually out there concept. It's like, whoa, things have gotten huge. You're tiny. This is a shakeup, even though functionally it wasn't really. But, at that point in time, it's just a visually impactful shift in the look and feel of the game, so it's memorable,
Kick the shit out of that.
It's kind of like it's kind of the equivalent of playing a 3D platformer in the PlayStation 1 or Dreamcast era and going to space.
I want to say that the only time it was ever done in an interesting manner was in Galaxy 2.
I wouldn't even
I don't even remember what the name of that
I
galaxy
wouldn't even
was,
say it
though.
was
That's the
interesting
thing.
there. It was just kind of a regular level where the giant stuff was
I mean, there were some.
It had
cool
the easiest one-up
gimmicks.
trick. It had the easiest one-up trick in existence for Mario.
That too.
I liked that there were some things like there was a coin you had to wall jump off of and use the timing of the coin twirling around, which
Yeah.
is just kind of something you don't even notice
Or
anymore.
how you wall jump off of the two giant thwomps to get to a higher part of the level, or it might have been for a green star.
Yeah.
But
and you do
but still,
actually
like
need
to me,
like,
that's more interesting than just
well,
oh, here's a giant thwomp that you avoid like every
Well,
other.
wall
thwomp.
jumping between two thwomps, though, is something that you
do pretty regularly.
do pretty regularly in other levels. Yeah. So.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean,
you can do it in some of the other levels. I don't remember a level where you have to do it.
Because when I think of thwomps and like jumping past them or over them, I just think of like side somersaulting over them maybe, but not between.
I
two
mean,
of them.
I can't think off the top of my head of moments.
There are levels in Galaxy and Galaxy 2 and 3D Land and stuff where you can do it.
I know that I've done it more than once in Odyssey. I can't think off the top of my head of doing it in the Galaxy games, but that's mostly because I haven't played them in a while.
It's a common enough occurrence to where putting it in the big level isn't anything special.
Yeah. It's just a bigger version of it, really.
Wait, okay, so hold on. I'm sorry. Are we talking about the ones that smash from the sky onto the ground or the ones that fall on their face?
The ones that...
Okay. Oh, yeah, because how could I ever get those names confused?
I had a moment
Okay,
where I
but-
had to stop and remember which one was which too, so.
I'm pretty sure that there's a New Super Mario Brothers secret where you have to wall jump between the two of them in order to get
Yeah,
something.
there's you almost... Whenever there's two thwomps next to each other like that, there's almost always something you can wall jump up to get.
Again, I only struggle because I couldn't see how that would work with normal sized thwomps because they almost always go down as soon as you go under them. So wall jumping between two of them seems like, how would that work if they were just regular sized?
You wall
I
jump
think
between
some
them
of
while
them
they're on
have
their
a-
way up.
Yeah, I think some of them also don't just go right when they see you. I think some of them do have a regular cycle in some of the games. I can't remember.
Yeah,
any
see, that's
specific,
but you see where I'm getting at though, because like
Yeah, I do.
the idea of jumping between two regular sized thwomps will require that you go under both of them at the same time, and as they're going up, you wall jump. I don't recall ever doing that.
Usually
in a
the
Mario
second one doesn't go up high enough that you can't bounce off of it just from one of them being down low. But the objective is always to just get up on top of one of the thwomps anyway. So.
Mario Maker has ruined me. And what I remember as an official Mario level, and what was just someone's shitty Mario Maker design.
Womps are the worst in Mario Maker. Want to know why? You start a level. If you aren't immediately running right, the thwomp will get you every single time. And if you do immediately run right because you're afraid of the thwomp, guess what? There's going to be a Koopa Troopa that falls from the sky and kills you. You know, Nintendo thought about what they could. They didn't stop to think about whether they should. You know, we can let anyone make their own Mario levels. Should we? Probably not.
I think it was more a matter of, oh, you don't like how we're doing our levels in New Mario 2, or you do something fine. If you're so smart, you do it.
Oh, this is the level with the impossible coin.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
The what?
Well, for so
impossible
there
coin.
is a singular coin that is hidden behind the geometry of the level that is impossible to get for no fucking reason.
Well, under normal means anyway. Obviously, if
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
like,
I mean, yeah, if you
hack it
clip
and
through
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
exactly.
it was a programming bug because the way that the game is set up is that there are coins placed individually, and then there are like sets of 5 coins in a row that are spawned by different objects. And just due to the way that the hill is on, one of the coins is technically
doesn't work
spawning
correctly.
underground. So it exists, but you can't ever get it because it disappears before you're able to interact with it.
Yeah.
At least that was unintentional, unlike the piece of chocolate in Conquer.
Oh yeah, because what was it that he said it would really fucking annoy people?
Yeah, basically.
Oh man.
Huh.
There was also the what Bowser level had the impossible Goomba.
I can't
I think it was the
remember.
last one. Yeah, there is for some reason there is a Goomba loaded way below the level's geometry that you cannot interact with at all. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but it's like those little interesting shit that you probably read on the cutting room floor during your last.
Someone
5-hour
gets she
rabbit
says
hole
he'll
binge.
find it. He'll elaborate on all of it for us.
Dude, like, if you want to lose track of time, you open up an article on the cutting room floor and just dive down that rabbit hole.
Did you all ever go and watch the other videos by the guy who did the rolling rocks in 0.5 A presses? Because he's made several, and they're all just as in depth on Mario 64.
I haven't-
Didn't he
no,
do one on
after-
the hitting with the hammer in Paper Mario for 100 years thing?
No, that was somebody else.
Oh, that was a Strider, I think it was.
Yeah.
Strider X or something like that. I'm not sure. No, I know what you're talking about. The Parallel Universe one is the one I watched, and I think the Impossible Goomba is the one I watched.
Yeah. The parallel universe is rolling rocks in 0.5 A presses.
Yeah. Which again fascinates me, but folks got a lot of time in their hands.
Look, some people just really love one specific game, and honestly, I miss being able to get into a singular game that heavily. I am struggling to think of a game that I got that deep into at any given point.
It's the problem of getting older and thus more experienced. Nothing can be your first time anymore, and that's kind of how it goes.
I think the only one I can think of where I got that entrenched was when I first became a fan of Ace Attorney back when I was in high school. Because I used to be on Ace Attorney fan boards and like I read Ace Attorney fan fiction and stuff like that. That was like the only time I ever, I think, got that deep into
I'm sorry.
that.
Ryan is just
There was an idea.
Ryan is just tumbling down the mountain over and over again.
What if I light my ass on fire?
I'll move my legs so fast it'll carry me up the mountain.
No, but going with what Ted was saying, is there? What game could you guys say that you can probably write a book on because you've put so much time into it?
If I was ever allowed to, I would have actually written.
Ever allowed to? Whose permission do you?
Well, I was going to say probably my professors, because I was going to say if I was allowed to, I would have written my thesis on the final case in Justice for All, Ace Attorney, because that case is like one of the best stories in a video game, period. And it's probably the reason why I think Ace Attorney 2 is the best of the first three, even though I know a lot of people probably won't agree with me because that one also has a clown in it. But
Yeah, I was going to say the third case kind of holds it down for me.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people over-exaggerate that case because as annoying as having a clown in that or in the puppet guy is, I would still rather do that than have to listen to the stupid freaking concert tape for the umpteenth time. God, Apollo Justice sucks.
It's not, nothing is ever bad as Apollo Justice, no, but...
I need to get Derek together and do that Ace Attorney 6.
I mean, I suppose if I were to write a book about a game, it would be one of the Personas. But it wouldn't be quite so much about the game's design as it would be about characters and story. So, does that really even count?
I mean, it could. People write
you
books
can get
about
entrenched
books.
into a game for different reasons. Not necessarily has to be an absolute where I love Mario 64 so much. So I not only like to talk about the level designs and the architecture and the thematics behind the design, I also talk about how you can build speed for 12 hours by hugging a corner.
Yeah. There are
for this long,
are people who are paid by universities to read like 3 old poems by some random French poet who nobody knows about. And then that's just all they do is read and write and talk about those like 10 stanzas of poem, you know? So, you know, you can make anything your passion, really. Oh, you see, now this is uplifting. And crap.
You know, when you say that way, it sounds really condescending.
I mean, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that, like, if you wanna make anything like your passion, go for it. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever you like, as long as it's not hurting anybody. I should probably put that asterisk next to there. You do and enjoy whatever the hell you want, you know? Because there's almost certainly something weirder or something you wouldn't expect that somebody else has done. So there's probably nothing wrong with whatever your current fascination is. Even if it is like weird Sailor Moon hentai or whatnot. Write your book about weird Sailor Moon hentai. I probably won't read it.
Unless you're in Australia, you'll probably go to jail.
Wait, why Australia?
They ban stuff for really weird
Oh,
reasons.
yeah, you're right. I remember that was a thing about one of the South Park games. They got real pissy because the Australian government didn't like whatever.
It's probably the Yaoi pictures.
There are yaoi pictures in one of the South Park games?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's okay. Like, honestly, I think that from what I've seen of the South Park games, that's probably one of the last things you would need to cut for sensitivity, but whatever. I'm not Australia. Or am I?
That's a whole other can of worms that I don't feel like getting into.
No, not really.
No, secretly, I am Australia. The entire fucking country.
Yeah, that's right, folks. The whole thing.
Mate.
You see? That's how you know it's legit. No, but if not having a compendium of knowledge for a particular game, I'm just like fascinated by learning how a game works from within. Or why this certain thing in that game works, or why that certain thing in a game works.
Have
You
you
know,
ever?
how does a game... Well, wait.
I'm saying, this isn't something that has ever applied to me personally, but have you ever had the instance where you felt like you didn't actually want to look past the curtain and see how it all works with a game because you think it would make it less special?
Horror games.
Horror games? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't like looking beyond the veil for horror games.
Yeah, once you know like the technicals of what makes Nemesis do what he does in the game, it's a lot less scary when Nemesis shows up.
Yeah. Which, granted, you probably do anyway when you're trying to, like, I don't know, get a A rank or trying to, you know, use less healing items. You want to know how enemies work and how they behave so that you can plan for that. But for just, like, going from beginning to end, just like a casual playthrough, I don't think you need to know any of that stuff.
I'll tell you what, in Resident Evil Remake, the Crimson Heads become a lot less scary once you have an established strategy for dealing with them.
Yeah.
Like
burn the mansion down.
Like my playthroughs of Resident Evil Remake are like, okay, so I know I've got X number of kerosene doses to use overall, and I have a general idea of how many there are and where I can find them. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna burn all the corpses around the goddamn save rooms and never use any of the hallways a second time ever again outside of those ones.
You're a fucking asshole to this Wiggler.
Yeah, those Wiggler is probably the most innocent victim of the entire game. You barge into his house and you stomp on him 3 times.
Well, first you flood his house, then you barge into it, and then you stomp on him.
Then you stomp on him.
Like he says something about, oh, the star made him evil or whatever, but like you did ruin his house, and now he's dead.
He just fucking died. Way to go, Mario.
Man, the lawsuits.
If you ever want an accurate representation of what happened if the Kool-Aid Man burst into your home.
Something that kind of bugs me.
From above, not even through a wall, just from above the ceiling.
Oh yeah, dude, are you gonna pay for that? My insurance doesn't cover Kool-Aid.
Oh no.
Something that kind of bugs me about Tiny Huge Island's entrance room is that, like, okay, when you're going into the portal where it looks like you're shrinking before you go in, they achieve that effect really well. But then you go in the opposite direction and it's really obvious that you're just going down a hallway that's getting narrower because I guess they couldn't achieve the same effect in the opposite direction.
We'll see you all in the next part of Super Mario 64.